The Niagara Canada International Film Fest stands out for its role in celebrating diversity through film. This year's festival was held earlier this month at the Niagara Falls Convention Centre. Gordon So, president of NCIFF, is here to recapture the exceptional cinematic experience. Gordon, you had quite the three-day festival. Tell our viewers about it.
Well, we did. Well, Anthony, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. We had 3 days, Niagara Canada International Film Festival at the Convention Centre here in Niagara Falls.
And on a local perspective, you had some local people, is that right?
Absolutely. It was pretty amazing. You know, we had the Old Stone Inn, you know, Anne-Marie from the Old Stone Inn. It was just amazing. We had folks who stayed there. We had a wine pairing industry event there. And then the next day was our after party at a really nice restaurant called Moksha's. If you guys have been there, it's just a really great opportunity to, you know, support some of the local businesses.
Now, this festival is fairly young. It's only about 4 years old, and it's spread out across 4 major cities and not just Canadian cities. Is that right?
That's correct.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. So, you know, this was our 4th year, as you mentioned. So we've been online for 3 years, respectively, in Montreal, Toronto, Markham, New York City, and here in Niagara Falls.
Speaking of Niagara Falls, rumor has it our good friend Jim Diodati, you got on the phone with him.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I can only imagine what the conversation was like, but that's how the ball kind of got rolling on this. Can you tell me a little bit more about those conversations and how you ended up coming here on June 1st and 2nd?
Absolutely. You know, Mayor Jim and I have been friends forever, probably 3 decades now. And so Markham International Film Festival went really, really well, and the mayor in Markham got involved. And so when it was all said and done, I thought, okay, who do I know that's a mayor somewhere? And
let me guess, it was Jim Diodati.
That's it, right? You're going to win a prize for that.
That's right.
So I called him up and I said, what do you think? He says, yeah, absolutely. You got to come to Niagara Falls. Yeah.
And what's great too is we talk about the local connection, but there's even a more local connection. And with us here covering the Ice Dogs, you have a really nice story.
I love that. And Anthony, stories is what it's all about, right? There's a hockey player here that most people know who played on the Ice Dog, Akil Thomas. He captained the Ice Dogs for 4 years, and the World Championship, right, Junior Championship. He scored the winning goal, right? That helped Team Canada win a gold medal. And then now he's just signed a 2-year contract with the Los Angeles Kings in the NHL. So we all know his story. But what about the mom's story, right? His mom, Akil, has been a friend of mine for probably over 10 years. So we thought, why wouldn't we feature a documentary, her documentary, The DNA of Love? So that was a world premiere right here in Niagara Falls, Canada, The DNA of Love.
That's great. And what were some of the other films that you showcased?
We had some amazing films from all around the world. I loved a film called Coin Toss. Remember the movie Dodgeball?
Mm-hmm. Sure do.
It kind of had that vibe. So Jack Sparrow is a student from the Toronto Film School. That was his documentary, 8 minutes. It was just unbelievable. I wish it'd never end. So just really nice showcasing talent like that.
Now, everybody knows about the Toronto International Film Festival, and that's really Canada's premier event for showcasing films, but you really want to get it outside of Toronto, right?
We do. And we wanted to make it so that it's a small boutique, like a small boutique film festival, gives people who are attending, from the filmmakers to the film lovers, a really nice experience. You know, the convention center, they were kind enough to provide a popcorn machine. So you imagine even just that little experience of smelling the popcorn at a film festival, just having a really good time, and then in getting the local entrepreneurs and business owners involved.
And you have a goal too of really spurring some economic development off this, is that right?
Yes, yeah. So economic development growth is really important. Right? We have some of the most beautiful wineries in the region. Think about that, right?
We do.
So if we're going to do a film, let's say in Sicily, a winery over there. Well, why not a winery here locally, right? We have our title sponsors and our sponsors like Home Life, who, you know, next year they've already rented out, I think, a space here for like 1,500 people for an event in Niagara Falls at the casino. Is that crazy?
That's wild.
Like let's bring people to shop here in Niagara Falls, right?
Now, also dealing with the convention center, you had to do all this preparation.
Yes.
But when the films were actually being played,
Yes.
I'm assuming you kind of got lost in actually running the event, and now you were part of the event. Were you in awe?
I was in awe. I was probably on the red carpet most of the time, just entertaining a lot of our guests. But inside the theater was where the magic happened, right?
Where do these films go from here?
From what we do for the filmmakers is it gives them, Anthony, an opportunity to showcase their films. From here, it's basically now up to them to be able to continue to try to get their films out there so they can be maybe picked up. I'll give you an example. There's a gentleman by the name of, now it's called brain cramp, right? It's called old age. Michelangelo.
Okay.
Young entrepreneur, filmmaker in Toronto. So Michelangelo was one of our featured guests on our panel. But Michelangelo, his company has represented over 200 plus independent filmmakers, over $100 million in sales and distribution.
Crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That's the guy I want to know, right? Everyone wants to meet Steven Spielberg, which is great, but I need a Michelangelo that I can sit down instead of having my picture taken with him. I want to pick his brains. Like, Michelangelo, how do I get my film, right? So it can be distributed.
2025 in what city?
Niagara Falls, Canada.
Coming back here.
Niagara Falls, Canada. We're
Awesome.
back.
Thanks,
Yes.
Gord.
Thank you.